This is something to hold us, where our mission is to bring people closer to their emotions through conversations about our life experiences, to understand not only who we are, but who we want to be. And today's episode is a little bit different. We're going to run it back to one of those accountability check-in type of vibes, but a little mix of that of this is now my 12th episode. This is 3 months of consistency.
Yes, sir.
And I have my accountability partner here with me.
Yes, sir. What it do, baby?
I should have let you in earlier, but I'm just glad to be here, man. And I guess I want to reflect on this journey with you a little bit and talk about how we can improve, what are some memorable experiences, where we plan to go, and just other personal things that we got going on.
All right, cool. Let me just start off by saying, yes, this is 3 months, baby. So we kind of celebrating. You gonna let the people know that what we got in our cups?
We got a little bit of that coquito, that Puerto Rican drink.
Listen, I went to go take a sip. This joint is strong, bro.
Shout out to Naria. She did her thing as usual.
Ooh,
I love it, honestly. This shit make me mad gassy. I can't lie, bro. You turn up when you can, right?
yeah.
We drinking it all the way until New Year's. And if you do need some, you can always reach out to Erica on Instagram. I know she sells all different types of flavors.
Who, Erica?
Naria's sister. I actually don't know her IG, but I'm gonna throw her a tag somewhere along in this conversation. But yeah, I want to talk about the podcast and this experience. I mean, you're the first person. I say the first person. Yeah, definitely the first person that has motivated me to tap more into my creative side. Whether it was yo, keep writing, yo, do the writing show, or do this podcast. And through these 3 months, what do you feel has been the most memorable thing for you?
In terms of your journey with podding, or
Yeah, but I consider it our journey because I view
Ooh.
you as my producer, and you do handle all my audio work and all that stuff. You're in charge of all the equipment, so our journey.
it's not one specific thing, but just seeing how you are consistency, and then how you're getting guests and seeing because sometimes I'm here when you're recording, right? Your interactions with the guests, you getting better with listening, asking more thoughtful questions. So like seeing where it started, and that first episode was a little, and then now it's yo. when I say the first episode was a little, it was Ryan's first episode, so the pauses and the not being so sure of himself, and now there's a different level of confidence that you have that can be easily mistaken for something else.
I don't know what else we could mistake it for, but I mean, I think confidence would be definitely a good word because in that first episode, people don't understand. If you would have released the original audio, we got multiple 30-second breaks where I'm like, what the hell do I say next?
I try my best to not to to punch in. I'm like, all right, this is not my podcast. It's not my podcast. Gotta let them drown.
I was just sitting in silence, and you and Kelly yeah. No, but this journey has been very interesting. I mean, like you said, in the beginning, I was choosing guests that I was more so comfortable with, and I can kind of know where my questions would lead. But I was still sticking to the script. I thought it out too much, and then felt like I needed to ask those specific questions rather than take what the person was giving me and go with that. And
Right.
I remember we had discussed that on one of our interviews where the person said that they can't really talk about certain stuff, and that was pretty much later in the it was the day of they had mentioned that, and I wasn't as proud as the interview, and then I kind of put it on the other person when in reality I could have just changed my line of questioning and got them talking much more about other stuff.
Accountability, respect that. Yes, sir. Also, so you asked me that question. For you, I'm gonna switch it up a bit. So all right, 3 months today, right? Let's go. Let's take a drink real quick, a little sip. ASMR. This shit different. But okay, so what are you looking forward to in your next 3 months? of potting?
Um, I don't know. It's interesting. I don't have an exact answer for that, but I would definitely say part of it would be continuing to be consistent. Um, being able to manage when things don't go as planned, because that was something that's been a struggle with me. Like you said about like you not being here for a couple of episodes, and I coincidentally, like not coincidentally, but and for my opinion, like you not being here, I wasn't sure about these other things and whether the camera didn't record and we couldn't get video, whether I tested the guest mic, but I didn't test my mic, and I had to re-record saying everything all over again, and like
What episode was that? So they can go back and see if they can even.
that was I think Sunflower Soul Generis. Like we had such a great conversation. She's definitely a beautiful soul and somebody that maybe in the future have back on to talk about this stuff. But I recorded everything, and you could kind of hear me a little bit on her mic, but I didn't check my mic to see that the audio was going through. I was lucky that I had multiple cameras running, so I know exactly what I did say, but that was just another one of those challenges that like made me nervous and I was upset. But damn, like we just had to lock in and spend that next hour re-recording, and it turned out pretty good still.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so getting better at handling situations like that, and I guess I want to get better at the social media aspect of all of
Mm.
this. So like how to promote the podcast better, because I feel like I'm getting better at having the conversations, but I don't know so much of how to build the brand. I think those are conversations I need to have with other people that are more experienced,
Mm-hmm.
but also being open and taking more risk.
Right. Courage, baby.
Yeah. Do you have any? I guess when I think about the most memorable thing for me, though, I would say most memorable conversations. Um,
He really in his deep thought right
yeah,
now.
it's hard because every time I do episode, I do think it's like, yo, I'll tell you, it was my best episode ever. Like,
Yeah.
we just keep getting better and better. But I really enjoyed my conversation with Andre because I know Andre very personally, and that was him really stepping out of his comfort zone to share his story and just to be on camera and because then for him to talk about like self value and all that stuff, but in the video you wouldn't have thought that was something that he struggled with, just with how much confidence he displayed, you know.
Yeah.
So like knowing him and being a good friend of his, like that was one of those moments where like I felt reassured on why I'm doing this.
I think that's always a sign of a good host. Like when the guest is naturally someone that's not gonna be in front of a camera or a microphone, but then when you go listen or you watch, you have no idea that that's the case. So I think
Yeah,
that's a sign of being a good host when you can get them that comfortable.
I appreciate that.
That
I remember.
Coquito is kicking Ryan ass right
I'm
now.
not. Chill. You're doing too much. I remember you had mentioned this quote or like what was it called? It was some type of check-in. I don't remember. No, a self audit. So with
Mm-hmm.
that being said, how do you describe me to other people?
Describe Ryan. So I've never done it yet, but how I would describe you to someone else, I would say Ryan is a. Well, okay. How about this? Your Ryan's love language, and you tell me if I'm right or wrong. Ryan's love language is gift giving. If Ryan cares for you, one way he will show you is by doing something thoughtful for you or giving you a gift. And a gift doesn't mean something new from the store. It's just he's gonna do something for you. That's so Ryan's a gift giver or he's thoughtful. Ryan is a person who will when you are in his community and since he's experienced something, he now knows how to use his community. He's a person that taps in with his community. Um And I mean that's what I'll say for now. And there's probably more things out,
Give me something negative.
I mean nothing's either good or bad. It's how you use it.
Oh, it
Okay,
is
so
negative.
that he forgets Shakespeare often. How about that one, goddamn?
I
Oh,
respect that. I respect that.
No, but so like with us, and this is on me too. Like, let's like so finding that balance between like tapping in with your community and boundaries. Tapping in with your community and not knowing if you're overstepping the boundary. Yeah, so like, and that's not necessarily just on you. I think that's on me and on anyone else in the community. Like, not establishing clear boundaries, healthy, clear boundaries.
I think I'm picking up what you're putting down, and I can respect that.
Splow.
But that is definitely something that's very difficult because, like, I guess me personally, like me tapping more into my community now, it's before I would kind of create boundaries for people based on what I think that they needed or wanted, and that would also cause me to not reach out to those people because I feel like doing something would cross a boundary. But now in a space where I would say that I don't think about that stuff as much. I kind of just do things, and if you don't like it, you gotta let me know if that's a boundary or not. You know what I mean? So I can see where sometimes I might come across on I'm gonna test that line. I'm gonna see what's going on.
That's a
but,
fact.
but to my own defense, I'll say it's all out of love and trying to figure out where that line is. You know?
Yeah. There's some like I call it habits at this point. Like just like you I think it's like an automatic response that you be having. It's funny. I'm not gonna say it, but if you feel comfortable saying, sometimes you just be letting shit fly, and it's like, yo, bro.
You're right. I really be saying what I want to say nowadays, and it be.
Oh man.
It can surprise people, but it's only because like I don't want to say I don't care, but I'm prepared to deal with that consequence, and I hope people always know, like, whatever that consequence may be, my intentions are never bad. You know, my intentions, and if I say something crazy to you, it's because I feel so comfortable with you that I feel like I can play around in a certain way. Like, I don't really, personally, I don't feel like I ever have ill intentions with anybody right now. I might have ill thoughts, but I never let that shape my actions. I'll be honest enough to have a conversation with my community about, yo, this is how I feel about this person or that person, and 9 times out of 10, my community will ask me the right questions on like challenging why I feel like that, and if I really need to, and um, most likely I'll say, damn, I lost my train of thought because I just got a text.
You got a text and the coquito. I'm trying to tell y'all, the coquito is strong.
But if that comes back to me, I'll go back to it.
Yep. But when you said like you got no ill intentions, like, do you think when do you think that comes into play? Like where someone should factor, like, okay, you did this thing, and whether there's a boundary being crossed or something being said, but since I didn't have ill intention, you think they should consider, because you didn't have ill intention, like, okay, it's good. Do you think that?
I think they should consider forgiveness after they clarify what their problem is. But when things are repeated, it's regardless of ill intention. That's you not being, I would say, self-conscious, but also considerate.
Okay.
Like if I tell you something's an issue for me one time, then I'm not gonna make that joke to you multiple times or do a certain thing multiple times. Like, and if I do later on, if I don't catch myself and immediately apologize, that's different than just doing it and then expecting shit to be okay. You know?
Respect. Yep.
What do you feel like we can improve on this podcast so far?
I say, so you do have an outline, and I think you now have started to like use that outline as a reference and not as a go-to source to like, this is my podcast, this outline. But more of that, like straying away from it and just only looking back to it when needed in moments of pauses or uncomfortability and stuff like that. And I mean, honestly, I'm waiting for you to have like a guest so out of the normal, that's like, so just having more extravagant guests, I guess, like that you're not used to reaching out to. And what about you? What you think?
I do have somebody when you talk about extravagant guests, I have somebody in the works right now that I haven't met, that came recommended from somebody that we both know,
Mm.
and her story is definitely very interesting. I'm supposed to be going to have dinner or have like meet over a drink next Saturday and discuss the scheduling of that. I
Mm.
think she's gonna be very interesting. I'm really looking forward to her, but I like to try to have more conversation with people before. Like I don't, I appreciate when people are like, "Oh, this person would be a good guest," but I kind of want to get to know a little bit more about you before you just come in randomly. Like I guess that's still cool to come in randomly, but I want to have a sense of who you are, gauge you, and then
So you need a personal interaction with them, or
I would prefer a personal interaction. I don't need it, but I think having a personal interaction and then I guess kind of like gaining their trust in a way to get them to feel how much of their story they're willing to share.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Because like one of the things that happened like with Brendan or Balance in one of the first episodes, like because I knew him and we had a good relationship. When I talked to one of our mutual friends about him, I said I usually ask people like, well, how would they describe that person or anything, any other experiences that they had that they could talk about and overcome. I wouldn't have asked a stranger the way I asked Brendan about being stabbed. You get what I'm saying?
yeah.
Where like with this person that I have coming up, they went through a lot, and I want to gauge how open they're gonna be before I just try to dive into that.
Okay. Okay. I mean, I feel that. I also feel that there's still like maybe you're saying like that makes it easier for you. Like you want to gauge it, and then it's easier to then go on the platform and talk about it.
Oh, I don't want to talk about it in person. I don't want all the details in person.
Okay.
I want to kind of, 'cause remember we talked about before. I kind of want to prep the person for what to expect when they come on the podcast,
Okay.
and then when they come on, let's talk about it. Like one of my guests is gonna be my friend's fiance, and they came over for dinner the other night, and we were talking about some stuff, and we were going on and on. It was getting deep, and I was like, you know what? Wait a second. I don't want to talk about this right now.
So
Like you know what I
save
mean?
it.
Let's talk about this later on. I want to be like fresh on your mind, and um, that first time you explain it, and it gives you time to really say it the way that you want to say it. You know what I mean? Like it's not like, oh, I wish I would have said this a certain way. Now you have time. This is what I want to talk about with you then. You know?
Do you find that happening often with like you having a conversation with someone and you're like, yo, this would probably be good for the pod.
Yeah, honestly, I do. I think about not not just like that, but like if I have a regular conversation with somebody and I'm like, it's not even necessarily what they say, but getting them to talk about a certain thing based on a certain question I asked or a certain question that they asked me. I'm like, that I could learn from that, and comes back to what you talked about, deviating from the script, and then realizing you get more of a person with through that authenticity.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
and like my script right now is just was it a script or what would I call it?
Outline.
My outline right now is simply that. You know what I mean? Like it's touch points that I will talk about with somebody. And honestly, the best thing about it is like 9 times out of 10, the conversations I try to tailor it to each guest. So the conversations I have with people, they kind of lead into the next thing I want to talk about already.
You're like, got him.
You know what I mean? But it's been so that's one interesting part about it. Um, and because of like we talked about not having it, my favorite thing still is feel this way.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Like
good.
and really before it was just telling people to say a word or a phrase, but now it's like we can have a discussion about that if it means a lot to you or ask you more questions just based on that, you know?
That's part of the growth. And when you asked that first question about the memorable things, it's like, yes, when we first started Feel This Way, it was legit. Okay, blue, and then they'd say favorite color, and then you like, wait, damn, that's all you're gonna say? All right, now I gotta move on to the next.
Hmm.
Whereas now you're more like, okay, favorite color. When did that become your favorite color?
Yeah, like
Like you ask more questions now.
it could be something like that or we exactly that. Um, but yeah, this whole process has been making me such a better listener and conversationalist. Like even when I at work when I talk to kids, like I can't lie, man. Sometimes I'll have a conversation with kids and I'll be forgetting what the hell they told me like 20, 30 minutes ago. But that used to be the case. But
Mm.
now, increasing my active listening skills, like I, my recall is much better. You know, like I can go back and be like, remember when you said this, yada yada. Like specifically even with Issa, my last guest.
Mhm.
When she said that she was anxious, and I asked her what makes her anxious, and we had a whole conversation, and then we went back to why were you so anxious? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like getting better at that, or listening to what somebody said, and then using that, and later on in the conversation, like all that stuff, I feel makes them feel heard.
Right.
Um,
What's one? Okay, so it's talking about active listening. What is one area where you could improve, in terms of like letting the person know that you're listening?
letting the person know that I'm listening.
Yeah. Or I mean, how do you feel like you are with eye contact?
I don't feel like I'm bad. Why you feel like I can improve on that?
I'm asking you, sir.
I don't feel like I'm bad on eye contact. I mean, I guess I could improve on that, but I'd be looking at my phone every so often. But I try to be pretty good about that. It's kind of awkward though for me, like, because I used to feel like I struggle with that. Like I kind of constantly look down when I was talking to somebody, and it'd be awkward. But like, but now it's like I'm trying to find a healthy balance of like looking at somebody and not feel like I'm looking into their soul. You know what I mean?
Huh?
With gentle eye contact, you know, like looking at somebody for a little bit and then maybe taking a break, just head nod, have like physical gestures that let them know I'm listening and I'm digesting what they're saying without like
Wait, so when you say like you say gentler, is that the word? Gentler.
gentle what?
Well, I'm saying is gentler a word? Is it
More
or is it
gentle?
gentler?
More gentle?
No, I know what you said, but I'm asking for myself right now.
Mm-hmm.
Is gentler a word
I don't know, maybe.
or gentler?
What is the difference between what you're saying right now?
Gentler and gentler.
Gentler? I don't know. I'm confused now. You know when you say a word over and over again,
It
and you're like, what the
makes
fuck is that?
sense. Like wait, something's more. You could be more. You could be more gentle. But can you substitute being more gentle with? Yeah, I could be gentler. Or
I was gentler than I used to be.
okay, you could say
I
that.
don't know if that's a word or not now.
Well, I mean, if it's not, then y'all welcome world. Anyhow, so when you say softer with the like, what's a definition of like a or an example of a hard, like when you look in the windows of their soul?
Like when you look at somebody and you don't break eye contact for an extended period of time, part of me thinks that's that like, why are you looking so intensely? I mean, you can look like that intense when, I guess if, I don't know when that's appropriate. I put it like that.
Well, is it are you smiling or are you just like just dead ass looking?
Let's just looking for
So-
like from
okay.
even right now. Like we're looking at each other in the eyes right now, and I can see like you're making a face.
I'm
like,
smiling.
Yeah, but
oh,
is-
but you
is
you
it
so caught
uncom-
up in my
yeah,
eyes.
is it uncomfortable that I'm looking at you like that, or are you
no,
just happy?
I feel like that's appropriate, and that for me it does let me know like okay, you locked in.
Mm.
I mean, I'm not sure if you noticed, but that's what I do to you. I'm like, I'm into your I see your whole dilations over there.
All right, maybe I can consider that. I'll look into that. I remember when we were reading Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. We talked about a specific president in that book, and he was talking about like the way he looked into your eyes or something when you were talking. There wasn't this intense fire. It was more so like a subtle understanding or comforting hug or something like that.
Yeah.
And I guess I want to go for that, but maybe it's something that I'm uncomfortable with, and I need to work on. I really don't know. I have to think more about that.
All right. But that is something that I noticed. So when you ask like, "Oh, I think I'm good," the reason why I waited on the answer, I just wanted to see your thoughts in that. But I do think that's an area where you can improve. I often see like I noticed where you talking to someone, and maybe it's because you are in deep thought and like you gotta like look somewhere else because that's normal, right? Like what I was thinking about again. But like yeah, I noticed that like when you are saying something profound, and like to me, I'll be like, "Damn, why you look at that person and say that? Like why you look to the left and say that?" But
Maybe I'll take that into consideration. Maybe I'll look at people, and that could help me gauge their reactions as well.
see it live.
Yeah, I remember you mentioned that to me when I said when I was reading a poem, and you're like, "Did you look at them to see their reaction?" And you're right because I did it. I saw the reaction on camera, and I was like, "Oh, I got him." but yeah, you're right. I can do a better job at that. I'm definitely open to that type of feedback. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Ryan got cupcakes here too.
Yeah, we got Alicia made these cupcakes. They told her that my favorite thing is peanut butter and chocolate, and she made these cupcakes out of like the chocolate cupcakes. The frosting is peanut butter with ground nutter butters, and then there's a nutter butter that was dipped in chocolate in the middle of the cupcake.
These is homemade.
Yeah, she's nice. You can do anything. She told me that whatever I want, ask her whatever I want her to make, just let her know. And I'm taking her up on that offer.
Definitely. When people say stuff like that, it's like, I'm not letting. All right. Word. The reason why I said these are homemade because like they look like they're in the plastic. I thought he just went to like a grade A or something. Wow.
You didn't get these at grade A?
I didn't know. That's what I'm saying. They changing the game up with
that's
these.
love and affection right there.
Target.
But have you thought about your New Year's resolution?
Nah, man. We ain't.
You got a couple weeks left. I know that, but
That's it. I'm not into that no more, man.
No?
New Year's resolution. Because it's like, what? I'm gonna wait till the New Year's to do something. I'm gonna do it now.
Okay.
But you saying that though? What's your New Year's resolution, right?
I mean, like you said, I can't say I have a New Year's resolution because I'm ready. I have my goal for next year. I wouldn't call it my New Year's resolution, but I'm already working on that now. You know,
Right.
and that's the being fluent in Spanish. Like, I think I'm doing very good with that. I even went into a shop today because I went to church with one of my students, but I couldn't find the church that his mom told us to go to. And I went into this Hispanic shop and I was speaking Spanish with them on like asking them, do they know where this church is? And like she was explaining to me in Spanish, and like I can obviously understand better, but it was just cool because like when I went up to her, she wasn't expecting me to speak Spanish with her, and I pretty much, what did I say to her? I said, solo tengo una pregunta. Tú sabes dónde está la iglesia para personas de Haiti?
And
So
she
it's
said,
like,
"¿Qué?"
she was like, but it was interesting. Like she was surprised. She's taken back a little bit. And
Did
then
she smile?
yeah, and then she gave me instructions. You know,
In Spanish?
yeah, it was pretty cool.
Wow.
Like it was really cool to have that experience. And like I'm still trying to gain the confidence to use it more openly. And those are the moments that I find myself needing to step up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But sometimes I get caught up though. Like I went to, I needed to get a receipt for my job, and I went back to. I took a kid to what's that restaurant called? Old House 2. I took a kid over there to eat, and I needed a receipt for my job to reimburse me, and I'm asking for the receipt in Spanish, and then they went off on me in Spanish, and I'm like, oh man, I don't know,
Like I don't even know what they
what
say.
the hell just happened, right? But because they were when I the question I asked them, I practiced it, I was confident in it.
But you didn't practice the responses
I was
though.
too confident in it because like she just asked me, started saying everything to me, and I'm like, what is that? Well, dude, I think I need to put myself in those situations because now I learned that the word propina means tip. You know what I mean? Like,
Wait, so what? You didn't leave a tip?
no, she was asking me how much tip did I leave on the receipt.
Oh, so she can look.
know which one it was because
Right.
I go through so much stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But now I know that and just keep making progress. You know, sometimes I'm gonna mess up, sometimes I'm gonna know and then feel confident.
Definitely easier said than done to keep on putting yourself in that uncomfortable situation.
Bruh, like, and that's so funny because a couple weeks ago, one of these girls out, one of my coworkers, put more respect in that pronoun.
There you go.
One of my coworkers was telling me, yeah, you just gotta go with it and then talk because some people might laugh at you, but like you just gotta go through that. It's like going through the ugly dread phase.
Why you look me in my windows and be like, what? He looked me right in my eyes when he said that. Oh, respect though. Respect to her. She right, man.
But so you say the New Year's resolution you don't do. Do you know what you're doing for Christmas?
You mean as in like
Spending time? Did you get Kelly a gift? Like,
dang, yo, why you all up in my business, my boy? Nah, I mean, to be honest, we don't do like gifts for each other. It's all about the kids. Even though we don't have kids yet, but like, you know, she has nieces and nephews. I have nephews and I have a godson, so we kind of focus on that. And I'm working on she did something at her job, and I was really proud of her, and I got her some flowers and some chocolate because of that. So like doing more of those things, whereas like a specific day is like, I mean, still do something if she wanted. If it means something to her, do it. But like I do this on a regular, so you know.
This nigga, I do this.
I do this, man.
I can respect
But we
that.
probably gonna go to like her family house, I believe, on Christmas and eat and stuff. You
Okay.
know what I'm saying? You got any special plans for?
Now this gonna be a different Christmas for me because I usually spend it with with Nari's family.
Uh-oh.
So this year, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't got no nieces and nephews. I don't got younger cousins or nothing really like that. So I don't really know.
What about Mama Dukes? What Mama Dukes doing?
She probably be at the crib. Maybe she maybe have dinner over there, but nothing crazy. I'm
Not going to New York? Backstory, maybe Ryan fill y'all in later.
One day we'll talk about that. Not right now. But nothing I can think of. Man, shit, I could really probably go out to eat by myself. If anything, I'm not stressed about it.
A lot of basketball on Christmas, man. I know you said you ain't even watch basketball games.
Shit, I'm off that whole week, so
Ooh.
I'm gonna do something. You want some girl? I'll say some girl. Why do I do that? I gotta put more respect on these women.
There we go.
But
in the moment too.
Another coworker I had, she said she used to do this thing called RAD days.
RAD, RAD?
RAD. It's called Random Adventure Days, where she would pick a town and then just go there and spend a day.
Wow.
And I was like, that's mad interesting. Whether it was a town in Mass, in Connecticut, in a small town, whatever. She would just plan it or not even plan it and choose a town, go there that day and figure out what she's going to do. And I think that's dope. I think I'm going to do that at least one of the days over Christmas break. So I think that's the most thing I'm looking forward to.
That's cool. Respect. Is either Epictetus or Marcus Aurelius, like they were like kind of rich or they had money, but they would spend one day out of the year where they would go to a random place and just like live as a person with no money. That kind of just reminded me of that. Like, so they would not bring any money with them. Let's say we're in Connecticut, so let's say go to like East Haven and just be there for the whole entire day. Just so that would make them appreciate what they do have more. What they do have now. I thought when you said that random adventure, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
That is pretty cool, but I ain't doing all that.
I thought about doing it, but then I'm like, if anything, I'll go in a car and I'll spend a whole day in the back of the car. I could do that.
In the back of the car?
Yeah, you got an SUV now, brother.
SUV life.
Yeah, come on, man. In the back of the car with a laptop, you know what I mean? Just stay warm that way.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I don't know, but let's see how this turns out for me. I'm really interested in it.
What, in the RAD or just the Christmas?
The RAD.
Okay. Ryan finished his coquito. My fault. I'm just randomly updating y'all.
Where we at with time?
We at the 33 mark. Exactly.
I thought it was going way longer than that.
Oh, you thought it was long? I mean, 33 is a lot of time.
Yeah, that's a lot of time.
Yeah, but hold on, right? It's your 3 month, man. And another thing that I would like to hear, like, and maybe you are more even kid with this, but like the emotion, like I want to hear you happy. I want to hear you chuckle sometimes in your pod, and you do laugh sometimes.
I was having mad fun with Issa.
Yeah, very true. But that's something that, like, I as a listener, like when you laugh and both people are laughing, like I feel like I'm in the room and like, wow, we had a good time. Like even though I'm just a listener, but
some more emotion.
Yeah, or just more of your personality and less of I'm trying to, like, you made that reference to looking people's windows of their soul, but like I'm trying to discover these things about you. I'm trying to be happy with you. I'm trying to trade off this great energy with you through laughs. I don't know. Could be the coquito talking.
I don't know, because I feel like I've been having a lot of fun on these podcasts, man. So, I mean, I have to take a second to listen because I'm very open to feedback and all that. But when I think back, I think about moments where I had like the Easter episode was mad fun, laughs the whole time. I feel like with Janaris, it was a good conversation. It was definitely much more even keeled than the other ones. But other than that, there's been jokes here and there that I think about. And I still laugh about, you know. But I'll take a couple of re-listens and I'll see where you're coming from.
What do you expect?
Another thing I'm working on is like my boy Brendan, where he's trying to set up a calendar where we have an idea of like various open mics around the state and where we go to, because like even with this podcast, I don't care to I try to. It motivates me to write more poetry, and I'll just say the new poems here. I really don't care. It's like practice, and then at some point when I go to the open mics, I'll repeat that same poem. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Like that's the game plan: to practice, and let it out, because messages can be heard by different people 1,000 times before it can be understood by one person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Wait, where are you with reciting your poems? Like the delivery, the
honestly,
energy.
I'm not really focused on the delivery and memorization yet. I've really been focused on the whole language aspect of what I got going on. 'Cause, like I've even fallen back from like reading as much, because learning Spanish and practicing the words has taken so much more time. But it's a sacrifice I've been willing to make, because that stuff makes me happy, and it's like it satisfies so many different goals, personal goals, whether it's
Yeah.
like work, financial, and just personal as well, just like wanting to develop it a certain way, and just to be able to service a whole different group of people. Um, so I haven't really been like practicing them, but I have been writing. Like I even have another poem that I'm gonna read today that is pretty new for me.
Uh-oh.
I worked on it like for the past like I would say week. Um, I don't even worry about it. Might not even be its final form right now, you know.
Yeah.
But it's just this every week thing has got me motivated to keep keep thinking, and then like the more I think, the more I get better at either telling a story or layering words where you see like a double entendre and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah.
And I can feel that. I can like I remember 3 months ago when I had Brendan on. He was talking about it's a muscle. Shit is really a muscle. Like right now, I can just feel pumping. I can just pump out a poem and not feel. It's not gonna be like, oh, that's the absolute one. But I guarantee you, there's gonna be a couple lines in there. You're like, oh, that's, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I know that down the road, as I keep working on it, it's gonna reach its final form that I ideally fall in love with.
Respect to that, brother. Wait, when's the last time you got some good sleep?
Yesterday, yesterday for sure.
Were you drooling?
Yeah, I was a Jordan. I don't sleep in like that. But on Friday night, I had my friends over and I drank. And honestly, I slept on the couch for a little bit. I got up. I felt weird, but I got up. I brushed my teeth because I usually try to brush my teeth at night. I
Uh-huh.
didn't because I was so drunk.
At least you was at the crib.
Yeah, I got up, brushed my teeth, and I went back to bed.
Back on the couch?
Nah,
Oh, I'm
in
about to
my
say,
bed,
cool.
in my bed. But even that was at like when I woke up, it was 3:30 in the morning. Brushed my teeth, and I went back to bed at like by 4, and I didn't wake up till like 10:30, and that's sleeping in for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's a lot of sleeping in. So I ain't gonna lie, I was comfortable, like one of those like, oh, this dog not getting walked until I get up type of thing. I say, well, you gonna sleep too. Like,
Yo, bro, that is the like having Fresco. Fresco's my dog. And like, yeah, he knows when he should be walked. And like, when I be sometimes, I stay up 2 a.m. editing, right? And then when I sleep, I be knocked out. But then I hear, I'm like, I look at the time, like, come on, bro, let me chill.
right? That shit, man. Just like, oh nah. And I'm lucky Nico a small dog, man, because I just hold him still. Like, nah, you gonna fall back to sleep. This is what we doing.
Yeah, no comment on that one, bro.
He be alright.
He forced that dog back to sleep. Lucky he ain't leave a nice little brownie on your pillow.
Nah, that dog be homeless after that. Well, but it's so funny though when I think about writing poems and stuff. I remember like the last time we had this accountability check-in. I had read a couple poems, and I was like, damn, I'm bugging. Can't be doing that.
Too much. Too much, man.
Now you know how much pressure I can be put on me to keep writing now. Like,
Giving out the whole book, man.
nah, but shit really motivates me, man, to just keep writing. So it's like, so I told you my year goal is to be fluent in Spanish, and
Yep.
then my two-year goal is to write a poem book. So like just pumping out poems now is gonna help me when it comes down to that time 2 years from now, where it's like, all right, now it's time to put this shit together.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
When you do poems now, is it like I know before the reason why you wasn't like sharing the poems because it was like too much of you that you thought you were sharing with people.
Hmm.
Now is it that way? Not is it like are those poems coming from a real place still, or are you able to like you can take from somebody else and insert that into the poem?
I take from somebody else sometimes, but it still comes from me.
Because you
Like it
still
still
got so
comes.
much story to tell.
Yeah, I got like different ways, different stories to tell, but also a lot of it is like perspective. You know, to teach people to see life in a different way. Because I feel like that was always something that I felt I tried to do, but you don't want to come. I don't want to come across as pretentious in that way. You know,
Yes.
because I was still I could see things in a certain way, but I wasn't living the way I needed to be living in order to be that person to tell you this is how you should see it as well. You get what I'm saying? Like, let's say working with my students, like now I still don't but I can. Like, how would I look telling students all the time, yo, you shouldn't be smoking weed. Now I go home and roll up. You know what I mean?
Uh,
But like,
but like in those things, I don't know. I'm mixed emotions about those type of things though, because like you could be telling them because what it's doing to you and the opportunities that you may have lost. So it's like I know I'm doing it, but and that's exactly why I'm telling you not because you shouldn't be like me.
yeah, well, that's true. But nobody wants to hear about how I shouldn't be like you, cause like we don't listen to crackheads for a reason.
Who don't listen to crackheads?
And I don't think anybody listens to crackheads. Like,
It's okay. So I'm not gonna act like I don't know what you're saying. I do know what you're saying. Where I'm coming from is like if you just said like don't be like me, I could see I would roll my eyes at you. I saw you smoking. Like shut the fuck up, right?
mhm.
But if you said don't be like me, and then you started look, this is blah 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 where it got me, blah 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 where it got me. This is what I'm going through, right? Like you start explaining, it's like oh okay,
That can be a certain way, but I feel like that doesn't hit the same as still as like I don't want to hear about you being down bad and how that shit sucked for you to tell me this is why you shouldn't do it. And I find there's more inspiration in overcoming than in a tragedy.
what?
There's more inspiration in a story of overcoming rather than a tragedy. You know what I'm saying? I want to hear about how your shit was fucked up and then this is how you fixed it, and that's gonna be more powerful to somebody than be like simply telling me. It's like kids. Like you tell a kid what not to do, kids likely gonna do it. I'm not. Yeah, it's hard to say they're gonna just run and do crack, but like that is like it's like that example. It's like don't touch this hot stove. I touched this hot stove and it burned me before. Like they still gonna touch that hot stove. You get what I'm saying?
Very true.
Like rather than be like, yo, look at my hand. I burned on a hot stove and I learned, and now I don't touch hot stoves. So like it's still similar, but it's not. You're not that person that's just gonna keep touching hot stuff. You know what I mean? And maybe that example's not good enough.
Nah, just it's probably just it's a case by case situation actually. Now I
Yeah,
think about it.
but overall, in my opinion, I want to hear stories about overcoming from people that have overcome, rather than somebody that succumbed to something and it's like, oh man, you don't want to be like me because I did this, this, and that, and I ended up all fucked up. You know?
Nah, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, and that probably moved me more too. So maybe I probably had one scenario in my head. I was thinking about like people who do dip, and then they freak around and get mouth cancer or just something crazy where you can see it, and it's like nah, you too young to have what this is.
Hmm.
That might deter, but at the same time,
Yeah, I mean that could.
it's just certain situations really.
Yeah, I mean definitely possible. It's not all. Nothing is black and white. Um, but I want to inspire people to be things that I am rather than to be things that I'm not.
Respect.
And that's a journey that I'm on right now, still becoming, you know?
Mm-hmm. That's a Michelle Obama book, I believe. Becoming.
Oh yeah. She stole that from me. Well,
That's Ryan's jokes right there. That's
What you mean?
That's an example of your jokes.
Oh.
Can't even tell. You see that? That's what I mean, man. Lighten it up a bit, bro. Like, come on, son. Damn.
Oh, but then when I'm saying the B word is
See, look, that you see, it's either serious, not serious, but it's either like or it's the B word. I don't know how we got here.
No, but I can see that because a lot of people do tell me like sometimes they don't know why I'm playing around because I be saying things with dead serious face. But I be playing around.
And then it's funny because I mean I've witnessed that too. Like talking to some people, and you're like, yeah, I'm just playing. I'm like what? How they supposed to even know you playing, bro?
Yeah, I be dead serious. Can you imagine?
Yo.
Oh man, but man, if I play around like that with you, that means I fuck with you, or I don't care about you. That's a very tough line to walk. Actually, let's move on. Let's move on.
3-month anniversary, something to hold us.
Yeah, and this is where we at, and I'm just looking forward to
Now
where else we
Ryan
take this?
said, my fault. I'm sorry for cutting you off, but so if you guys on wherever you Spotify, Apple, wherever you listen to the podcast right now, if you look at the cover art, Ryan said that he said for the longest he's going to change that cover art. That was supposed to be a temporary cover art, but it's turning out to be a 3-month anniversary cover art.
Now I don't do graphic design one, so like I gotta So let's. How about you relax on that?
Well, I'm just saying, I'm holding you accountable. It's accountability, huh?
I gotta holler at a graphic designer, or is that what they call themselves? Graphic design artist.
Graphic designer, or you can hit up Canva. But then again, I understand Ryan did. You said something profound before. Where it's like you don't want to continue to do things that you could potentially be good at. It's like, I just want to do the things that I'm great at, and then if there's other people that's in my community or something that they're great at something, then they could do that other stuff.
Gotta outsource that work, man.
Right.
Oh.
Right.
We'll get to that. Man. I'll write that down on my We're gonna have a logo by February.
Oh.
That's it. That I'm gonna
Heard it here, folks.
I'll put that here and then make sure I contact some people.
You can always hit up Fiverr.
Yeah, you're right. But I got some. I just people really ain't shit though, man. No. So
No. You gotta talk about that real quick.
Backstory. So I paid somebody one time to like really come up with some logos for me, right? And I forgot what it was for. That's because when I was working with Brandon up on something, and I said, can you make some stuff for me, like draw it up and send it to me, right?
Yep.
And I paid this guy $60, and that's not crazy amount of money, but I swear to God, he sent me back word art, like on Microsoft. You know what I'm saying? Like with the gradient colors and like the overlap. I'm like, no, son.
Wait, did you see a reference of work?
No, I didn't.
Oh, so that's on you.
Oh, it's definitely on me. But it's like, yo, why would you reach out to me saying this is what you do?
No, because to be honest, bro, like I've done that before too, though. Like obviously, like it's not just word. Like some images are from word art, clip art, whatever. But it's the putting the stuff together and taking the time to do that versus like you saying like legit. You could find that same image if you was to clip art or word art.
I'm not saying you're not gonna find that same image, but I could create that image.
And then it becomes so why didn't you?
I wasn't expecting to get that.
Oh, it's the expectations. That was the problem.
Yeah, I didn't expect to get that. I thought when I gave him reference, he like, oh yeah, I could do this. I'm thinking about I'm about to get something creative back. I said, can you be creative? And I got like black and red, and then black, and then white. I'm like, this motherfucker.
Bro.
And like I'm trying to I mean, I wasn't conscious of back then the agreement of being impeccable with your word, but like I was like, I said how I pay him. I gotta pay him. This shit's trash, but I gotta pay him. You know what I'm saying? But
Same thing happened to me on Fiverr, bro. Like it's maybe on me, but I wrote him a description of like what I wanted, and then I had this expectation in my head how it would look, and then he sent it back. It wasn't clip art or word art, but it almost looked like a child drew it because it was like some. Whatever, but I had that same experience. But that's why it's good to. I understand, like you see someone's portfolio first.
Yeah, and I get that now. I wasn't hip to that back then.
He said, I just, I had the money, so I was like, yo,
nothing but regrets after that. But I gotta get on some people, about the work that I know that they can do and see what they're willing to offer me because I do want to like I said, talk about like increasing my digital footprint.
Mm-hmm.
And I think definitely a logo would be that first step.
Yep.
But yeah, 3 months, and I don't plan to stop anytime soon. So
Trade them things. You're gonna hit that 6 month mark, which I used to say is the point that most podcasters don't make it.
it's mad funny that you made that up. I was dying. I'm like, I wonder where he got that. Maybe Google Analytics or something. But like,
Man, I just had to motivate myself, so that's where Ryan gonna make it. He'll make it to that 6 month mark, man. Something to hold us. Let's get it.
oh, for sure. And now, before we head out of here, let
Finna
me
read
get
one of
this.
these poems.
Let me get this poem out the way.
Let's do it.
Not out the way, but let me drop this on your head.
Hold on, let's eat a cupcake, bro.
You want to eat a cupcake? You can eat a cupcake. I have too many.
Can you grab me one? Oh, wait, she made more than them?
Nigga, she made a dozen.
Holy moly! There's and those. If I know you guys can't see right now, but these cupcakes are like the size of these things is a fairly decent size. So if Ryan busting down 800 of them, kind of why?
Just pull it by the nutter butter.
Oh, nutter butter. Oh, nice and soft. My favorite cake is chocolate, so
Oh, it's soft, yo.
this finna be an experience.
It's definitely an experience.
This
She did her
holy
thing for
moly.
sure. Let us know. Look, you about to have it right now and give her live feedback because she.
Yeah.
Alicia is
We're at the 51 mark, so tell her to tune in this right here. Here we go. First bite. I got the nutty butter peanut. Oh,
she an avid listener. Shout out to Alicia. What do you think of the cupcake?
wow. So I only got that was my first bite. Hold on. I'm going there.
Does she think you take one out?
Oh, I didn't know how to do that. First, I love nutter butter, so like that alone, like you know what I'm saying?
It's the same thing.
Yeah, I get this a good 9 out of 10. The only reason why it's not 10 out of 10 because if it was just all chocolate, that would have been 10 out of 10. Yeah, but you got the peanut butter in there.
Chocolate head.
Yeah, I love chocolate. But yeah, this is a childhood dream right here, bro.
Right, that's. She
Y'all
did,
hear that? Oh, y'all can't hear that, but I hear that.
She did her thing on that, man.
Respect. Go ahead, bust it down, bro.
I call this a dodging, at least for now. I think I read the first part to you before, but like I said, sometimes it's about putting all this shit together. Everything good?
I was gonna mute myself, but
I wanted to say something. I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, we're gonna have to get more time on Bus Bro.
because this is gonna go over.
Yeah, this month crazy. Here we go. Goals to be the old head that I never was. A twist of lessons such as how to stay strapped without the metal tucked. Though my own history isn't lapsed in drug trafficking or toting transfer tickets, just in case the situation calls for busting back at people that look like me from across the axis. I more so question our lack of it. Priced out of seeing to believe it. Morose behavior is seemingly what I leave with, 'cause living right doubled my plight, with villainy weighing on my mind. More of my morals were mirrored back. I more so questions our lack of it. I priced out of seeing to believe it. Morose behavior is seemingly what I leave with, 'cause living right doubled my plight, with villainy weighing on my mind. My morals were fighting for their life, but I kept it solid anyway. At least what it meant to be for me. Couple of friends are lost along the way, but God don't make mistakes, right? Are you telling me they are meant to sleep? From my pores, my anger tends to seep, so I use this olive oil scrub from Ethereal Empress. I lather, hoping it brings me peace, but it only brings me back to when Bleep let me know he had the peace, and when they caught me slipping, the only question was, who do you want deceased? And damn, it pains my heart to say it. May you rest in peace. These kind of stories have been told 100 times in slightly different frequencies. There's only 7 ways to tell it. Sadly, 99 are tragedies. But this one is a rebirth. About how overcoming a monster that is your environment can lead you from rags to riches. That's more so about mindset, where the primary quest is winning every battle so you can win the war. How leaving is abandonment, only when you don't return, with a perspective that finds it comical. That prior, when you thought about your life, a tragedy is all you saw. Come with me and let me show you how when you lead with purpose, you'll find the meaning of it all. this is something to hold us.